How old can a dog? What's like the oldest dog ever? Do they make it ever to 20?
20s. Yeah.
They get into the little ones can, like a Bichon might.
My dad has that dog right now
20s.
that's like it was born in 2003 or 2004. So it's like 18 or 19 now. Yeah.
It's an old dog. How's it doing?
You know, he barely get around and like barely see and hear, but like lives on the couch cushion and eats people food now. Like she's in the retirement home over there with dad, you know, living the best life she can, I guess.
Oh, Zach's telling us an Australian shepherd named Bluey lived 29 years, 5 months.
Good boy.
That's like
Australian
almost unbelievably old.
What a good boy.
30? Almost 30 years old?
It's
Jesus.
a breed that is expected to live 13 to 15 years, and a male 30 to 35 pounds.
It must be a Japanese Australian cattle dog. Because you know how the Japanese are. They just keep living and living. They are the best at that. They live the longest, I think, right? Japanese, that they eat pretty good.
I wouldn't bet against it. I know they do sometimes live long.
I feel like I read something that like of the super centenarians, like the people who are like over the age of 110 or something, like an enormous percentage of them live in Japan. Like of the whole global population, it's like.
All right, I'm impressed with your your vocabulary. A centenarian is someone who's over 100.
Yeah, and I think a super centenarian is someone who's like over 110 or something.
So pause here. What is over 40?
Oh, not impressive.
50? Is there word? Are you a pentenarian?
I feel like you have to get to 7 before people are like, okay, and even this like 8's when it starts getting more impressive.
So like, 7 is septenarian. Help me.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Octogenarian.
So septuagenarian, octogenarian, nonagenarian. Would that be it?
Mm-mm.
Like what is it called? Like,
I thought you'd know these. I was like, man, Taylor's here. I'm going to take advantage of 40 through 110 while I have him.
I don't fucking know. Kyle, you confidently. I just said because like after octillion, it goes to nonillion, and so like maybe
I don't know.
Is in there.
I can't come up with a 1 for 9. I knew the others, and that's where I'm stuck.
Nonagenarian. Nonagenarian. Yep, spelled it right. A person who's from 90 to 99 years old.
A centenarian and a super centenarian. What's 40? Oh, wow.
Quadragenarian.
It is a quadragenarian. Are you guys getting it in the chat? No.
Nice.
Oh, you Googled it, maybe? I'm a quadragenarian. I expect a little respect on my name.
What's the age that, like, if someone makes it to, you're like, that's a good run? Like, if you're in a graveyard
80.
or something. 80? Okay.
80?
I think, because that's where I want to go. Like I let me take that back. Here's the thing. What a modern 80-year-old is like now is what I want, right? Because it changes every.
So by the time you're 80, that'll be like 70 and no longer cool.
I think by the time I'm 80,
90.
I'll be like, I want to go to 90.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I'm like, I want to go to 80 because what an 80-year-old looks like right now is pretty decent. But I think by the time I get there, I'll be like, turns out we're better than we thought, because that gene splicing thing, everybody got got 15 shaved off. Everybody got it because of the Trump care. And and now we're the most the best working force on the planet. Yeah. Imagine that every American got 15 years shaved off. We're all better at our jobs and younger.
Everyone's got hair.
Yeah, all the babies. Imagine all the hot chicks you'd create. Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah,
that's Trump.
What are we talking about?
Emperor Trump.
A bunch of 25-year-olds that look 10.
Yeah.
Just not helpful. Like the 15 years you don't want to go back. It's like, you have to do school again.
No, so when I hear someone went 80, I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty damn good run, because the 90s just seem like they're worthless to me currently. Even Clint Eastwood is like 93, I think, roughly, whatever. Mm-hmm. But
he's an exception.
He's like the exception to the rule. You got like a millionaire, like fit guy, clearly stayed fit his whole life on purpose. Mm-hmm. And still, that's like shit. He's not jogging. Is he still getting laid? Probably not.
I bet if he wants to, he is.
I guess if he
coupon
wants
code for
to.
Blue Chew if he needs to.
I mean, I'm sure the hardware could muster, but I don't know if he still got the will. 90.
He was a mayor in the 80s. I didn't know. Mayor of Carmel by the Sea.
He's a Republican. Big Republican.
He is a Republican. Yep. Remember,
that makes
he had
sense.
that thing where he spoke to the empty chair with Obama.
That was, I even made fun of it. But in truth, I did get it. I was just making fun of it. If people don't know, he went up, I think it was the Republican National Convention, and he talked to an empty chair. And in that, he sort of dressed down the chair about all the things that it was doing wrong. And clearly, he was pretending Obama was in the chair. Mm-hmm. But everyone mocking him pretended that he thought Obama was in the chair, when no, he's way more with it than that. And I think they asked him to, like, what is it called when they impromptu something? Ad lib? What am I looking for?
Improv?
Thank you. Yeah. I think he had to improv that whole speech. I'm not sure about that, though. So it was a lot better than
improving a whole speech would be hard.
Yeah, I think he's a good speaker and he's passionate about what he was talking about. I like Clint Eastwood a lot. I love his movies. I like the ones that he directs more than the ones he acted in, and that's saying something because he's one of my favorite actors.
He directed other than Gran Torino?
He's done all of his stuff for Unforgiven. He directed Unforgiven. That's, if you've never seen The Unforgiven, that's like the anti-Western. That's he bought the rights to that when he was a younger man, and he waited until he was old enough to play the role. And it's tremendous. I
remember like thinking at the time, like 30, that's a million years from now. And then when I got there, I was like, oh man, I am going to die. Like, you're going to die. I guess I don't really fear it. I don't think about it that much. It's pretty scary when you do think about it though, because it's like,
I'm not sure if I do
the finality of it. Because it's like, I think it was Christopher Hitchens that like put it pretty well, where he's like, you know, death is like fucking sucks because it's like you have to leave a party and everyone's still partying. The party's still going. It's not going to stop, but you have to go. And that was stuck with me where I'm like, dude, that does fucking suck.
I completely disagree. It doesn't suck at all. Oh, yeah, it sucks for everybody but me. Listen, I get it. I've been your paycheck for the last 49 fucking years. I understand. And someday I am going to die, and I apologize, but my watch is done. You know, like
yeah, now
my watch has ended.
Now my watch has ended. You guys
and your insurance begins.
Yeah.
It's funny you say this as inarguably the fittest 49-year-old. Argue like if there were a top 10, you're there.
You think this guy's dying of a heart attack?
No. Woody's gonna live. Woody's gonna outlive both
this
of us.
Guy's gonna die going,
oh, just work the problem at a time. That's how it goes. It's just
we'll find Woody with a big knot in his hands.
Yeah, right. And a multi-tool.
He almost made it kind of.
He had another 1,000 feet. He'd have figured it out.
Yeah, that'll be it. No, I guess you don't want to go. One of the things that's sort of like sad, I think, is not getting to see like the future and the things that, because to me, I'm such a nerd about like future tech and things like Star Trek, Star Wars. Like, man, what are we gonna do in 100 years? Are we gonna? Because we're in this brief little window where we've just exploded since the Industrial Revolution. You've talked about a lot, Woody, how we go from planes to the moon and like 60 years or something.
Yeah, if that's not right, it's close. 69.
It's real close. Like 60 something years. Like we've been here for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, and we didn't make no big leaps like that. Are we done making big leaps like that? It doesn't seem like it yet. It seems like we're still on a pretty steep trajectory. Maybe not as steep as going from planes to moon, but we're still heading up in this technological trajectory. I'd love to know what's coming, like 100, 200, 300, 400. Are we here in 5? Are we here in 5 years?
What if this is the time that like we get too much into AI and like we're not ready for what it becomes and then it goes rampant like a movie?
If this were Civ, I feel like we're investing in shitty stuff right now. Like there are exciting technologies to invent where you're like, ooh, I just got sailing. This is going to enable me to explore. Ooh, I just got, I don't know, something else. This is going to enable this cool thing, metallurgy, who knows what. And it's like, oh, I just got pottery. And at the end, I needed it for the next thing, but I'm not excited about the pots I'm making at all.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like the internet and cell phones and shit like that came in. You know,
Satellite technology. It's like oh
stuff
yeah,
that happened before me.
the thing after this will be cool.
Where we went from flying planes on windy sand dunes to going to the moon was amazing. And it's a necessary step to improve the world's comms, but not as cool as, you know. I guess it's neat that I can get Amazon shit quickly, but
I'm already bored of Mars, frankly. They have they've been harping on Mars for so long. I'm interested in the gas giants now. They've lost me. They've tried to get me interested with promises of life. And then remember, like 10 years ago, they're like, we found life on Mars. And then like a little later, they're like, we lied. That's They've pulled the rug on us too much. We're Charlie Brown. We want something cool, and we can't.
That's a NASA problem. I feel like space isn't as cool as you want it to be. Mm-hmm. So, in an effort to get more funding, they just lie their asses off. They're like, do you remember that chick that like predicted what some star thing was going to be in the very far away? And they're like, this is what she thought it would look like. This is what it actually looked like. Can you believe how right she was? And what she did was she took like 1,000 pictures and threw away everything that didn't match what it was supposed to. It was the biggest bunch of bullshit ever. That's NASA. NASA has a Photoshop problem. You know, they take some semi-cool pictures and they Photoshop the fuck out of it until it's better than something you've seen on Star Trek. And it's not better than something you've seen on Star Trek. You just like Photoshop. Look, I like Photoshop. I get it. I'll give NASA money, but it's all bullshit. It's not true. And Mars,
that asteroid, that comet or whatever the other day, or maybe it was an asteroid. I don't know. They hit a space rock with a missile.
Pish
that was
posh.
Cool. They were both moving at such incredible speeds.
That's not even that. That's not even the Mars.
They changed its trajectory. It's like that's the beginning of the.
Was it gonna hit us?
It actually is going to hit us now.
I hope that's what they did. I hope they were like, you know what? There was a comet going by. It's filled with diamonds and gold. So we redirected it to Woody's yard.
We know where it would land. That big gold asteroid. We know where it would go.